You know, we're streamlining, we're getting better. We're recognised as a professional body now in this state, as a good provider, as the provider for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people appearing before the local courts and district and supremes. Yeah, my name's Hewitt Whyman. I'm a Yorta man, actually. But probably lived in Wiradjuri country most of my life, my wife's country. Working for the Aboriginal Legal Service back in 1977. The Aboriginal Legal Service at the time was looking at expanding an office in the region down there, and they opened an office in Wagga. I applied for a position there as a field officer. Was successful in getting the position. And what didn't come with the position was resources, e.g. motor vehicle, a phone or any of that sort of resource. Actually, I worked the first 6 months or more out of my home in one of the residential areas in Wagga Wagga, which was a bit trying on my family. And like being there 24/7 changed the whole lifestyle for me. Look, I grabbed that with both hands, and I guess with my military training behind me, I found the transition pretty easy. In Wagga and surrounding areas, Narandras, Griffith, Albury, quite a large area, Deniliquin, Moama, Hay, quite a large area with one field officer by himself. I learned very quickly and often would go into court and sit up the back and observe. Yeah, I worked with some of them actually now, district court judges. Judge Norrish, Steve Norrish, Judge Martin Sides. I done some, assisted Kevin Curry actually in some matters out and around Deniliquin. Peter Hidden, I accompanied him as his assistant and instructing lawyer. Although being a field officer, I learnt from those people about, I guess, the protocol that goes on in courts, and I treasured those times and that I spent with all of those people that I've mentioned, and that put me in good stead to determine where I really wanted to be, and it gave me a belonging in the community, and at that time the overrepresentation of people and the people going before the courts was unacceptably high then, as it is now. Wagga in 1974 just became an Aboriginal family resettlement area. It was a state government initiative where they relocated from families from remote communities into Wagga so that they may have better access to health, education, housing, employment. And of course, the Aboriginal Legal Service played an integral part in providing a service to them as well. My wife worked and typed my files and my file notes and opened files on a voluntary basis for more than 6 months as well. And she eventually ended up working for the Aboriginal Legal Service too, and still does today. And I guess we were a good duo. We become a very good duo. Eventually, we left our home and secured a premise uptown close to the courthouse, and we started to look pretty professional. And I can remember when we engaged our first lawyer at Wagga Wagga, it was a big achievement. It had opened up a whole new world for the Aboriginal people to know that they had a service that they could go to, a proud Aboriginal service then, that they could go to that was community focused on the needs of Aboriginal people who had matters before the local courts and district courts in the area at the time. The first permanent solicitor we had was a bloke called, I think, Martin Haswell. Yeah, and then we had a number of solicitors after him that come and went, and one notable name, I guess, besides Martin, was a bloke named Mark Smith. who was with us for a number of years, a very good advocate, become a barrister, and actually he did come from the Aboriginal Legal Service office in Cleveland Street, Redfern, to work in Wagga. That's an integral part of the Aboriginal Legal Service of the field officers. I was then elevated to the office manager, but I played a dual role as being the field officer as well. And that having that connection with the community and having knowledge of the community in which we provide the service was very important. For the lawyer to know that he had a competent and knowledgeable field officer who could with him interact with the community and represent those people before the courts. I think the Aboriginal Legal Service, even at that time, was looked upon as a joke service, not fair income, because I think for the first time in the country that prosecuting lawyers and police were being challenged by a service that was representing Aboriginal people, and how they were fearless in their advocacy for the Aboriginal people, and it took a long while for particularly the prosecution, the police, and I guess magistrates to understand that, hey, we're here for the long haul. During the time I spent in ATSIC, there was like the 6 ATSILs all around the state at the time, and they were separately funded by the different ATSIC regions, and the councillors on those regional councils, and they established good legal service. They established good practices. Yeah, when I was in ATSIC, I was the regional council chairperson. Towards the end of my last 3-year term, the Central Southern Aboriginal Corporation, who was then administering the Aboriginal Legal Service in Wagga Wagga, was advertising for a CEO. So I thought, gee, I've been around a while, and I met a few people, and I think I know what I'm doing here if I apply for this position. I did apply for it, and I was successful in becoming the Chief Executive Officer of that organisation. And we established the organisation of the legal service called COALS, COALS, the Coalition of Aboriginal Legal Services, where we'd come and sit and talk and look at issues impacting up on us all around the state. I guess the time come when they were calling for tenders to form one Aboriginal legal service in New South Wales. But we were so confident that if anybody's going to deal with Aboriginal people, it's going to be Aboriginal people, represent Aboriginal people. It will be Aboriginal people. We had the 6 ATSILs I'm talking about. We had a model already on the ground. So we were a big step ahead. I think 2006. Yeah, it was around April, I'm not sure. But when we officially got notified that we won the tender, then there was the transitional period of the next, and the transition is still going on, I think. We're streamlining, we're getting better. We're recognised as a professional body now in this state, as a good provider, as the provider for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people appearing before the local courts and district and supremes. Good quality legal representatives, advocates, good advocates. Strengthening the ALS with your good core staff of Aboriginal people in the community to assist those lawyers is, I think, one of the most important parts of the strength of the Aboriginal Legal Service. And I think our core values are, we are proudly Aboriginal, we are community focused, and we are fearless in our advocacy.